So guys, in this video, as I mentioned before in the previous videos, I really think it's important that we take the time here to kind of show the contrast between the Hyliion CEO, Thomas Healy, and some other SPAC startup EV companies, and how they tend to represent their company and the future that they are foreseeing for themselves. And my point has been all along that I like putting my money behind somebody like Thomas Healy because he's been very humble and very conservative in the way he represents the future aspects or potential of his company. And when you contrast that to somebody like Trevor Milton or the guy at Lucid Air, I can't think of his name right now.
Oh yeah,
but
we'll put it on the screen.
Yeah, he comes up as very polished and very intelligent. But it's easy for talk is talk. What's that saying? Money talks, but BS walks.
Yeah.
There's a lot of BS going on right now in the EV sector.
Well, there's a lot of businesses you can BS your way through it entirely and be very successful, but publicly traded companies are one that are heavily scrutinized and heavily watched by a lot of different, there's sites that that's all they do is just look for anomalies in some of these companies and expose them. Right.
And that's why I'm getting more and more away from these SPAC companies, because you don't know what to believe. These guys could be basically just blowing smoke to gain investor confidence and hopefully get them to buy shares with really nothing at all to back up what their claims are. And after the Hindenburg report kind of exposed Nikola, it did become, I think, quite apparent that a lot of those claims were BS, in fact, and it was a lot of smoke and mirrors. So let's just take a minute here and look at the difference between how Thomas Healy answers his questions regarding the future of his company and, say, Nikola or Trevor Milton did when he was the leading figure of his company, Nikola, and also the Lucid Air guy.
Yeah.
I should have gotten his name before we started this video. I feel stupid. But anyway, everybody knows who I'm talking about. And he is very polished. He does come across as being very credible. But yet, it could be very possible what he's saying is a lot of smoke and mirrors. We just don't know yet because they have not produced anything. So let's take a look at these guys.
Yeah, enjoy.
Trevor Milton, the founder of electric truck company Nikola, is voluntarily stepping down as executive chairman and giving up his board seat. This move comes after short seller Hindenburg Research accused Milton of making false statements about Nikola's technology in order to try and grow and secure partnerships with automakers.
Hey, what's up, everyone? So first of all, I never take any bullshit. I come straight at everything I ever have done. I want you to know first and foremost that I'm pissed, and then use that as an excuse to say, oh, look, he's full of shit, he's a liar, he's a fraud, whatever.
Both the Justice Department and the SEC are investigating allegations made by Hindenburg. Nikola says that Milton agreed to relinquish 4.9 million performance-based stock units that had been granted to him back in August.
So Peter, is Lucid building the next $400 billion company right now?
Wouldn't that be wonderful? 10 years ago, I was chief engineer on Tesla Model S. I was VP of engineering at Tesla, and I was responsible for the vehicle, which we know as Model S. This is our motor, inverter, transmission, and differential unit. Complete. This is a drive unit. And this unit weighs just 74 kilos. It literally can fit inside an aircraft flight bag. And it is 2.5 times smaller than the closest competitor for its power output. This unit literally can go, depending upon specification, to 670 horsepower, and yet it only weighs 74 kilos.
Whether Lucid is truly a worthy challenger to Tesla will come down to how well they deliver their final production car to market on time, as promised, and with all the bells and whistles.
The only answer I can have is wait till next spring, keep the skepticism, keep throwing the stones. I've got a strong chin. I welcome it, because there's a lot of bad actors out there. The only way we can prove we are real is get this in production next spring and in customers' hands and show. And that's what I can't get to next spring soon enough to have that opportunity to show.
Electric powertrain company Hyliion is forming an innovation council. It will be made up of leaders from across a number of industries who will test and review Hyliion's new Hypertruck tech. It's not easy to say, to help the further electrification of the trucking industry. Joining us now in exclusive is founder, Hyliion CEO, also still on the board and founder, and an engineer from Carnegie Mellon, Thomas Healy. Good to see you. How are you?
Good morning. Thanks for having me on. And yeah, today was a big announcement for us. We've pulled in some of the largest names in the industry, including companies like Anheuser-Busch and Penske and Ryder and Werner, and announced that these are going to be the first guys to run our electric powertrain technology when we start rolling out demos later this year. So we're taking a little bit of a unique approach here, where we're not trying to reinvent the whole vehicle. You know, when we looked at this shift towards electrification, the area for evolution's really in the powertrain, right? That's where, you know, the uniqueness of electric comes into play.
Some heady times, were they not? Thomas, is this more appropriate, or now do you feel it's undervalued?
Yeah, so we see that this is really a long-term journey here. I mean, we're at a point where we've already started rolling out some of our hybrid powertrains with fleets. You know, the Hypertruck later this year, going into next year, we're going to be rolling that out. And this is a long-term journey. I mean, we got a long ways to go here in terms of, you know, really getting volume shipments, taking these fleets that we announced today and getting products in their hands, letting them experience it. We see the upside potential here of where we're heading. This industry is huge. It's about an $800 billion market opportunity for us. And now it's about us and going out and actually executing and driving that long-term value. So, you know, we see that there's a lot of upside potential in what we're doing.
So I don't know about you guys, but after watching how these guys represent themselves and their companies, it's kind of obvious, really, who I'm most, at least for myself, who I'm most comfortable putting my money with.
Yeah. So. I think one thing is there's a fine line between confidence and cockiness, and I think you guys were just able to see that in some of these videos.
Yes.
So, thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions or would like to see us produce any additional content on the subject, leave a comment below, and we'll be happy to do so.
I'd really like to hear your comments on this one, because I think I'm not the only one, or we're not the only ones that see this. And, you know, and it's not just these three companies either. It's many companies that you really got to watch.
Yeah.
Not just what they're saying, but the body language, and you know, and then do your due diligence to research how credible these claims are. Because, for example, when Trevor claimed they had the world leading technology in the batteries of their trucks, that just simply was not true. Not even close to being true. So
be very careful if you're buying stocks on hype. You know, don't FOMO invest, fear of missing out investing. That's basically just buying after the big move has already taken place. You know, always do your own research. It always helps to listen to other people's videos like ours, or other channels that we follow that, you know, help us keep up on the news. Because everyone's got their own opinion, but you need to form your own, and you got to do that. You know, you can't just throw darts at a wall and buy whatever stock it hits. You need to do your due diligence. It's your money. It's your investing. We're just giving you our opinions on this, so make sure you never forget that.
A lot of your older school financial advisors and investors would probably frown on getting information from YouTube. But there is a lot of good information out there. There's some really good channels out there that really put a lot of work into finding the facts versus, you know, claims, just, you know, false claims. So if you dig enough, you'll find really good information, and you can make some good investment decisions based on information you find on YouTube. But don't let that stop you from, you know, checking things out on your own as well. But having said that, oh, I hate that. Don't say having said that. Everybody else says having said that. So
In conclusion.
in conclusion, give us your comments. Please like and subscribe, and we should do a spoof on all the quotes that everybody says on YouTube, like having said that and that being said, and
just make an entire video on it.
Yeah. You could,
well, that being said, I mean, that is a great idea.
Yeah. All right, guys. God
Thanks
bless.
for watching.